So thank you for your answers. We'll move on to the second question. This one is also directed at all candidates. I'll start from this side of the stage again. The question is, what are you going to do about the proposed gasification plant? Do you oppose it, or are you a proponent, and why?
That is a fantastic question, and it falls right into exactly what my answer is. What do we want? I can stand here and tell you I'm for it. I can stand here and tell you I'm against it. It doesn't matter. We're a city. Everybody is going to have ramifications from this plant, good or bad. I've heard the pros and cons on both sides, and I'm not sitting on the fence. What I'm saying to you is the people of Hamilton literally need to start making these choices together, because it doesn't matter. All wards, no matter what goes on within them, affects other wards. This is a city that needs to come together to make these choices. So, yes, I've heard the good. Yes, I've heard the bad. So who am I to tell you which way it's supposed to be when we will figure it out? We will make the proper decisions that leave us a better future. Thanks.
We've had, I've sat through two presentations on the gasification plant, one at the Board of Health, City Council, and the second one at 270 Sherman that some of you may have been at as well. Two presentations, and I'm still not at all clear what the plan is for that thing, whether it's the waste is coming from local sources around the bay, whether it's coming from outside, what size the plant is. The reference is from a similar plant in Swinton in the UK, which is much, much smaller than what they're proposing for here. So to me, it's a question of what Hamilton wants. Hamilton needs to be known for clean industry. It needs to be known as a green place, a place that's moving forward, not a place that is mired in the past. That's an old-style industry with bringing in more garbage from outside Hamilton. We're talking about Hamilton's image. We're talking about the health of people in this area that have to deal with it. I'm against the gasification plant.
That was a really good question. I have to say that both of them here kind of mimic exactly what I'm going to say, and you're probably going to hear that from the rest of everybody as well. With the effect that I am against the gasification plants myself. However, if this was something that City Council was going to push forward, it kind of sucks because we know that the people that it's going to affect most are the ones that are going to be left out, aka you. And that's where we need to have a strong mayor and strong leadership in place, whether it's who you vote for mayor or who your councillor, to make sure that your voice is being heard on what you want in your ward. And if council goes ahead with something like this, push it out of your ward and put it far, far away. Thank you.
Hello once again. As far as the gasification plant, it's a balance, really, a trade-off between tangible, real-time jobs and pollution on the environment. I believe if it's a necessary thing that we need to have, or we need to have it, if there is a byproduct of pollution, well, we can fix things as we go. My plan is to grow the industry of Hamilton, so we will have problems with environmental concerns, but we'll get better at those as we go. So we should give it a chance and stay with it, because my plan is to grow this city industrially and turn it back into the epicenter of Canada, the engineering epicenter. Thank you.
So that's a tough one for me. You know what? There's this issue of landfill, which is actually infinitely worse. What we do today is 50% of what we produce we put into landfill, which has long-term negative effects, both air quality-wise and ground contamination-wise. So that's a problem. The question is, what's the solution? I think there's an opportunity to have a look at whether this could be a clean alternative that could actually help reduce the waste going to our landfill site. So I think the jury's out on this one for me. It has to be clean. If it isn't clean, then we shouldn't even be considering it. But if it does prove to be a clean technology, it may have an ability to actually help us reduce the negative effects of landfill sites.
Thank you. The challenge that the council has is that they really don't have any authority to make the decision on the gasification plant. It's the Ministry of Environment that will ultimately make the decision through a compliance screening. We can make the decision on zoning, but again, as we've seen in the past, zoning can be overturned at the OMB. Right now, we're not receiving any information from the Ministry of Environment in terms of exactly what the gasification plant is. But to stand up here and say that I'm opposed to something when I haven't seen anything from the ministry or that I support it would be specious. We need the information to make a real decision. But ultimately, it's the MOE that makes the decision, and you need to understand that. It's not the council. The council will not make the decision, yes or no, for the gasification plant. The province of Ontario will.
As you all heard the elected representative and the ex-mayor, that they don't have any idea about this gasification plant. Whether I am for it or against it, again, the same thing with Mr. I forgot, Patterson has said it. I look into two things. One, if it is giving an environment problem, then the Ministry of Environment to come in. The second thing, whether that place is providing the job to the people, that is a different issue, because we have to create the job for the people so that they can make some money. Yeah. So I can be for it and I can be against it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Brad Clark for clarifying that. The fact that, well, he'd certainly, if he's my runner-up, he would definitely be the head of my oversight committee. And we might be. Well, I don't know. It seems to me like the gasification plant is the gas from the gas plant that they didn't build. We need it. We need something. We need money if it can make it. But again, let's put Brad and my team of councillors to work, and they can tell us what the gas plant thing is.
All right, thank you for your responses. So we'll move on to the next question. As mentioned, some of the questions will be directed only towards specific candidates. First question here in that vein is for Michael Baldessaro. The question is, do you think the bedbug problem in Hamilton warrants as much attention and spending as has been directed at the redevelopment of Gage Park and Gore Park?
I look, bed bugs. Are we done? Ready?
Go ahead,
okay.
please.
I had bed bugs in my buildings. I had crack houses in my buildings. I know how it is to be a landlord, and it takes 2 years to get rid of a crack house. And the police are sitting behind my building doing all kinds of everything but looking after anything. As your chief magistrate, you can bet I will be working at straightening things out, and I will. The Ministry of Health Canada, it's just sickening. We have a drug problem. That's all we have. It starts with alcohol. I'd rather have it start with voting. I'd rather have a voting addiction here with our children and stuff and paddles. Thank you.
You said this was going to be a conversation, right? And that was a question directly at all candidates. You want to change? Well, you know what? You're not doing anything for me. You know, it's not a conversation.
So we appreciate the feedback. We have a massive pile of questions, and we do want to have an opportunity for all the candidates to answer a diverse set of questions. So the team has decided that we need to select some questions for certain candidates to make sure. So.